In a move that sent shockwaves through the global aerospace industry, a decision was made that few could have predicted just months ago. The world watched in disbelief as one of the most influential players in aviation took an unprecedented step. Boeing has paused production of aircraft bound for China, halting the assembly of jets that were once destined to crisscross the skies of Asia's fastest-growing market. The sudden silence on the factory floor is a stark contrast to the usual hum of activity. This isn't due to a technical issue or a supply chain hiccup, but a direct result of escalating US-China trade tensions. The world's two largest economies are locked in a standoff, and the consequences are rippling through every corner of the aerospace sector. The decision is a stark repercussion of the ongoing trade war, putting Boeing in the crossfire. The company, already navigating a complex global market, now faces a new layer of uncertainty that threatens its future growth and stability. The once busy production lines now stand silent, a symbol of how economic disputes disrupt real jobs and global commerce. Workers who once built the world's most advanced aircraft now wait anxiously, unsure when or if they'll return to work. For years, analysts warned Boeing was vulnerable to retaliation from Beijing. The company's deep ties to the Chinese market made it both a leader in global aviation and a potential target in any diplomatic fallout. Now, that risk is reality. Aircraft that should be soaring are grounded, and the impact is being felt not just in Seattle or Beijing, but across the entire aviation ecosystem. The halt affects not just assembly, but sends a chilling message to international business. Stable politics are essential for cross-border trade. When governments clash, it's workers, companies, and travelers who pay the price. China is projected to be the world's largest aviation market, with demand for thousands of new aircraft in the coming decades. Losing access to this market, even temporarily, could reshape the competitive landscape for years to come. Being locked out, even for a short period, is a severe blow to Boeing's ambitions and to the airlines that rely on its planes to fuel their growth. The empty slots on Boeing's schedule represent billions in lost revenue and a potential opening for Airbus, Boeing's chief rival, to gain ground in a market that was once dominated by American innovation. The world now waits. How long will this pause last, and what will it take to restart both production and diplomacy? The answer will shape not just the future of Boeing, but the future of global aviation itself. The catalyst for Boeing's production pause is a forceful response from Beijing. In a move that sent shockwaves through the global aviation industry, China has decided to flex its economic muscle, signaling a new phase in the ongoing trade tensions with the United States. China has ordered its state-owned airlines to halt new orders and suspend deliveries of Boeing aircraft. This directive affects not only future deals, but also planes that are already built and waiting for delivery, leaving them stranded on tarmacs and in warehouses. This is part of a broader retaliation, including a staggering 125% tariff on American goods, a direct counter to the latest round of US tariffs. The message is clear. China is prepared to escalate the economic standoff, using its vast market as leverage. By targeting Boeing, China is striking at a symbol of American industrial might and one of the United States' largest exporters. Boeing's relationship with China has been a cornerstone of its international business for decades, making this move especially significant. The halt on aircraft imports, including crucial parts and components, demonstrates that no company, no matter how large or globally integrated, is immune from the fallout of this escalating conflict. Supply chains are being disrupted, and uncertainty is rippling through the industry. China hasn't placed a major Boeing order since 2021, but now, by halting deliveries of already built planes, it's taking the standoff to a new level. This escalation leaves billions of dollars worth of aircraft in limbo with no clear resolution in sight. This move directly impacts Boeing's cash flow and operational planning. The company faces mounting financial pressure, with its stock price reacting sharply and its workforce left anxious about the future. Beijing's message is unmistakable. Its patience has run out. By wielding its economic leverage, China is aiming to create maximum pressure in Washington, hoping to force a change in US policy, or at least extract concessions in ongoing negotiations. Boeing, after decades of building strong ties with China and contributing to the growth of its aviation sector, now finds itself caught in the crossfire, a bargaining chip in a high-stakes geopolitical storm that threatens to reshape the global aerospace landscape. The halt is a stark reminder of the risks inherent in relying on a market where political decisions can override business interests overnight. For multinational corporations, the lesson is clear. Geopolitical risk is now a central factor in global strategy. Boeing must now navigate a crisis with profound implications for its future. The company's leadership faces tough decisions as it reassesses its global strategy, supply chains, and long-term partnerships. The world is watching to see who blinks first. As the standoff continues, the outcome will not only shape the future of Boeing and US-China relations, but also set the tone for global trade in the years to come. The announcement that China would halt imports of Boeing aircraft sent immediate shockwaves rippling through global financial markets. Investors and analysts alike scrambled to assess the potential fallout, as the news dominated headlines and trading floors buzzed with uncertainty. Boeing's stock price nosedived within minutes, reflecting deep anxiety about the company's future and the risk of losing one of its most important international customers. The sharp decline wiped billions off Boeing's market value in a single trading session. According to Bank of America, the halt could strip as much as $1.2 billion from Boeing's cash flow this year alone, a staggering blow for a company already under pressure. This loss threatens to disrupt Boeing's financial stability and its ability to invest in future projects. For a manufacturer that relies heavily on the steady cash stream from aircraft deliveries, this sudden disruption creates a significant financial hole. Idle planes and empty hangars now symbolize the uncertainty facing Boeing's production lines. Even before this trade blow, Boeing was already grappling with a series of crises: ongoing safety incidents, tense labor disputes, and persistent supply chain bottlenecks. The halt in Chinese imports only compounds these mounting challenges, putting even more strain on the company's workforce and operations. The bigger fear looming over Boeing is the possibility of a permanent loss of market share in China, one of the world's fastest-growing aviation markets. If Chinese airlines turn to Airbus for their future fleets, it could give the European rival a decisive and lasting edge in the region. Investors are now deeply concerned that this dispute could fundamentally reshape the global aviation landscape, shifting the balance of power away from Boeing and toward its competitors. The financial tremors felt today may be just the beginning. If a resolution isn't found soon, Boeing could face a lasting erosion of its value, with long-term consequences for its reputation, profitability, and position in the global market. The stakes for Boeing's future have never been higher. The company now stands at a crossroads, with its legacy, workforce, and global influence hanging in the balance. Boeing's crisis can't be separated from the Trump administration's aggressive trade policies. Sweeping tariffs on Chinese goods triggered Beijing's retaliation, making Boeing a predictable target. The administration now faces pressure to address the fallout, as its largest exporter is caught in the crossfire. The White House must weigh the benefits of its hardline stance against the real damage to American industry. Experts argue the administration can't ignore Boeing's plight. Its health is tied to the nation's economic strength. China's targeting of Boeing is a calculated move to force Washington's hand. The next diplomatic moves will determine if this is a temporary disruption or a long-term lockout. Boeing's fate now rests heavily on the administration's choices. China's halt on Boeing imports is a bold move, but Beijing faces its own constraints. Airbus, China's main alternative, is already at full capacity and can't quickly absorb Boeing's lost orders. China's domestic manufacturer, Comac, isn't yet ready to compete globally and still relies on Western technology. For Boeing, redirecting jets to other markets like India is complex and can't fully offset the loss of China. Both sides are deeply interdependent. China needs planes to grow and Boeing needs China for growth. This standoff is less a permanent break than a high-stakes negotiation. Neither side can achieve its goals without self-harm. The current halt is a risky gambit, not a final divorce. Both are searching for leverage in a costly game. The trade dispute casts a long shadow over Boeing's future. For years, Boeing's growth strategy hinged on China as the world's largest aviation market. A prolonged lockout would force Boeing to rethink its entire future and cede ground to Airbus. Chinese airlines needing new planes would deepen ties with Airbus, potentially shifting market share permanently. The crisis exposes Boeing's vulnerability. Its success depends on open markets and stable geopolitics. Losing China jeopardizes not just current sales, but the future pipeline of orders and innovation. The damage isn't just financial, it threatens Boeing's identity as a global leader. The shadow of this conflict could alter Boeing's trajectory for years. Boeing's production pause ripples far beyond its factories. Over 12,000 U.S. suppliers, many small businesses, are hit by order cancellations and slowdowns. The loss of high-value manufacturing jobs threatens communities nationwide. As America's largest exporter, Boeing's health is vital to the U.S. economy and trade balance. The disruption widens the trade deficit and undercuts the very goals of protectionist policies. This episode is a cautionary tale. In a global economy, trade wars hurt workers and businesses at home. The human cost is measured in lost jobs and economic security. The stakes are painfully real for thousands of American families. Boeing must now play a complex strategic game to survive. One move: redirect jets to fast-growing markets like India, though this can't fully replace China. Boeing is ramping up lobbying in Washington, highlighting the impact on American jobs and exports. The company is also keeping back channels open with Chinese partners, signaling a desire to resume business. Long-term, Boeing must diversify its customer base beyond China, investing in regions like Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Building a balanced portfolio will buffer against future geopolitical shocks. Doubling down on innovation, developing next-gen indispensable aircraft, could secure Boeing's global edge. In a turbulent world, technological leadership is Boeing's best defense. The Boeing-China standoff unfolds amid industry-wide challenges. Both Boeing and Airbus face production delays and supply chain disruptions, worsened by the pandemic. Airbus can't instantly absorb China's demand. Its backlog stretches for years. China's boycott is likely tactical, not permanent. Airlines need both Boeing and Airbus to meet growth. For Boeing, the pause offers a brief chance to address internal production issues, but adds immense external pressure. No party holds all the cards. Airlines need planes, and manufacturers can't build them fast enough. The global aviation duopoly means disruption to one affects all. Practical realities of capacity and demand may force a pragmatic resolution. As the world's need to connect grows, the balance between globalization and nationalism is being tested.